Back at you, part two. Mia Vanna presents the R&R podcast, where we talk sports, entertainment, cigars. We got an interview coming up, you guys. I'm gonna let Rob introduce this young man to my right. Go ahead, Rob.
All right, let's go. Part two, episode 8. So we always like to shout out high school sports. Randy and I played in high school, coached, football and basketball. So today we have a special guest. We have from Gary High School, the assistant head coach, JV head coach, and also a Pomona City Councilman, Mr. Victor Preciado. Let's give it up for him. All right, Coach, talk to us. Both of us coached. We want to know what's the state of high school football right now? How are kids different from how they were maybe 15, 20 years ago? Talk about it.
Oh, hello. First of all, thank you very much for having me. Me, Havana, creating the space and the invite. Do want to make one special clarification so that, to honor my coaching teammates and respectfully. And on JV, I just help out as much as I can.
Okay.
On varsity, I just help out as much as I can.
Got it.
But with head coach Jimmy, he's incredible, really good man. And myself on JV, I am the head coach of JV.
Awesome.
Now, the difference in football nowadays from before, man, as you know, in CIF is just they're really looking out for the safety of the kids. But I remember me when I used to play, it was let's go 2-a-days, keep the kids busy, keep them running, keep things going. And this is my 3rd year at Gary now, and it was a little bit of shock when they said you can't do 2-a-days, or if you do 2-a-days, you gotta not practice like on a Friday or a Thursday. You're limited hours, and in a community here like in Pomona, it's tough because we don't have youth football, which now there is a youth football league called Pomona Natives. They're doing the best that they can. We support them very much up on the north side, and they're trying to attract everybody from the whole side of the city, but it's tough. So I always try to go back to the kids and say, we got to practice football one-on-one. Yeah.
That's good. What about you, Randy? What question do you have for Coach?
So you went to Ganesha, right?
Sorry.
Yeah, homeschool. Hey, give it up for G High. We just had our 40-year reunion, all classes this weekend, 3-day event. So give it up to Ganesha. So you said you've been coaching 3 years. What made you get into coaching?
By the way, I shout out to that reunion. I was there, very, very well organized, and appreciate them very much. What made me go into coaching? I've always wanted to coach, but I look at coaching, and especially with sports, any sport, is that you got to offer something more than the sport. You need a pathway for these kids, a safe ground for these kids. And I still speak to a lot of my mentors at that time. So that is, for me, the key point is you have to be able to have a mentorship opportunity with some of these kids. And once you commit, man, you're in it. You're in it because a lot of people walk out of these kids' lives, and I'm definitely not going to be one of them. And we talk about loyalty. We talk about how to be young men. I tell them they're not little kids. They're 14, 15-year-olds, but they're young men, and we're going to prepare them for the rest of their life. And football has been that for me. And now on city council as well. And I take a lot of that venture forward. By the way, thank you guys very much. Pomona High, right? Oh, Ganesha.
Hawthorne High.
Oh, all right.
So you talk about shaping these young men's lives. What's some of the challenges you see with these teenagers?
Outside influences. So we got to keep them busy, keep them in school. Making sure that they're not getting suspended, making sure that they're, you got long time families out here that might, or even sometimes you got people rolling up on the side, and it's, hey, come over here. We're gonna take your attention this way, and so we're starting to institute Saturday practice and tutoring to say, let's just get you in a classroom. Let's make sure your grades are going up. The same time, man, let's watch some film together.
Yeah.
Let's watch some college football together. And I tell them very, very much. I said, hey, you know what? This play we're about to practice today, it came from the Miami Dolphins, or it came from the Chicago Bears, or the Lions, who's got a hot offense lately, And once you tell them things like that, it's like, oh, okay, man, like I'm running NFL type offense, and it motivates them. I mean, especially because they're watching all these teams, right? I mean, Sadly, they're watching teams like the Cowboys also, but
Yeah.
Go ahead. I hear you. Go ahead, Rand.
But yeah, that's good. What about you say you city council? How did you get in the city council? Why you got in the city council? Being a native from Pomona, my hat's off to you. We need more people like you in the neighborhood. You know what I mean? Because like the difference in the kids. I mean, we were raised different, and our coaches, they did a lot. You know what I mean? And like you said, we had 2-a-days. We had we all bought in, and if your kids is buying into what you're putting down, I think you'll be successful. Like shout out to Jimmy. Jimmy's one of my good friends. I've been knowing Jimmy for years. He couldn't make it, but you stepped in, and that's good. So just tell us how you got on the city council.
A lot of it I think is talking about our village again, our mentorship. And Jimmy, man, he's got a village, and it's wonderful. Everybody I talked to knows Coach Jimmy. When he had we had a recent game against Pomona High, of which he's alumni, and he had 20, 25 people out there just cheering him on, and it was great. It was wonderful. And same thing here, man. See, my wife and I like to speak about our impact and what is our, we have our conversations of our wedding impact of ourselves, but what's our community impact? What's our communal impact? I think as soon as you get an opportunity, there's some people that like to leave, and I respect them. I'm not talking bad on them, but I think when she was first meeting a lot of my village, she goes, "It feels like you have like 10 moms," and I said, "I do, I do, because when my dad was out working or my mom was out working, I'd go to my friend's house, and I had a new mom, and I had a dad, and of course respecting my parents, but I think you get what I'm saying, and I wanted to make sure that our impact stayed here, and part of the part of that, by the way, with the city of Pomona, I owe my life to it, man. I like everybody kept me safe. At the age of 19, I was diagnosed with cancer, and I tell everybody I was in Vegas when I felt something wrong with my body, and I went to the hospital there, and they told me, "Oh, you just have an infection. You're good." I was like, "Nah, that's not it." About a month later, I was like, "Let me go to Pomona." I went to the free clinic down the street.
Wow.
And the free clinic, the doctor there, man, my respects to her. She's amazing and incredible. She's like, "I know what you got, but we got to get you checked." And about later that day, she goes, "You got to go to LAUSC. You have cancer." And so I had 2 surgeries. I had chemo, man, and that free clinic saved my life.
Right here in Pomona.
Right here in Pomona.
That's awesome.
And so it took me a while to get physically healthy, mentally healthy, and a little bit of spiritual healthy. And as I was working on myself, I started to give back and volunteer. And somebody said, "Hey, man, you should run for city council." And I was like, "I don't do government. I'm good. Thank you. Have a nice day." But once you start paying attention and start realizing that, hey, you know what? Like, I can open up a lot of doors, and I can open up a lot of opportunities, especially to the youth that are here. And so now, like we said, we want to offer more than the sport. And that's what we're doing over here at Gary High.
That's awesome. Shout out to the city of Pomona, by the way. Shout out
to the city of Pomona and that free clinic, brother. That's amazing,
man. That's major. Yeah, that's good. So you talked about your impact on the community. High school football, high school basketball tends to bring communities together. Who is your main rival? What type of support are you getting from the community?
We're getting lots of support. Right now, I would say our main rivals are Pomona High and Ganesha High. That's always been a moment right there, but it's fun. And all I can say is, the last 2 years, Gary has won their league, and we're looking for a third year, and we're having a lot of fun with it. The support with the community, when I'll even pop it out right here if somebody wants to. By the way, Randy, I mean, we went upstairs and we did a raffle for these kids to be able to help them get spirit packs. Everywhere I go, people want to help, and we've got banners going up on the stadium with some sponsorships. This way, like, we get it. Like, the more we can focus on the individual and teaching the kids like how to prepare, what to do, it goes a long way. And we do that best by equipping them for what they can do with the sport. I think it's a good point to also say when we are talking about football, but Coach Jimmy is also one of the coaches at basketball right here.
Okay, good, very good, very good.
Yes,
That's awesome.
sir.
Go ahead, Rand. What you got?
Yes, sir. So you guys are at 2-3 right now. What's the name? What's the league you in?
I think if it's the same one as Miramonte.
Miramonte League. Yeah, Miramonte League. Yes. Yeah. So we hats off to you. We wish you a lot of luck. Just keep up the good work, man. You're doing excellent, man. And I like to hear that because I also was a football president. I started out coaching little, Pop Warner, a junior All-American, and then I became a president. And I know what you're saying. A lot of people don't know the behind the scenes stuff you have to do to get these kids on the field, to get lights, to get just an adequate place to play. I even refereed. I just quit refereeing 5 years ago, and I did the Pomona Native game at Pomona High. So yeah, I was encouraged by them. And, they got they're not getting a lot of support. I seen that, and but shouts out to them. Hopefully they keep growing because this city needs it. This is a good city. I mean, it gets a bad name all the time for other things, but I think we have people like you trying to save the youth and trying to just mentor and just like you said, we raised by a village. We was always raised by a village. Like you said, you had 10 moms. I probably had 20 moms. And one difference is when I came up at Ganesha, when you play sports, you were hands off to the other side. You know what I mean? Like they really respected what you were doing. And they told you to keep on that route, you know what I mean? But now it's probably, like you said, kids trying to get pulled in this direction, that direction, and that's no good. So, like I said, man, hats off to you and Jimmy, man. And we're going to come check out a game.
Definitely.
Down the street. Right down the street. I've been knowing Jimmy for years. I coached his nephew, Bucky's son, Rashad Davis at USC. And I've been knowing them cats a long time, and they're some good cats.
You guys let me know when you want to come by. We'll make sure that we'll have a section off for you guys. Yeah, definitely. We're trying to really do something. And I like that. Thank you very much for supporting the Pomona Natives. As the council member, we've given some donations to them. And as well as there's a local organization that puts on a 5K in the downtown of Pomona. And that's a fundraiser for youth sports, and Pomona Natives has always been somebody we continue to donate to. When you talk about like, it's not easy. The pads cost $300. The helmet itself costs over $200. You got some cleats that are $100. You got their pants and their pads. I mean, for running a youth sports in this area, it needs a lot of help, and I encourage anybody. Anything helps. I mean, $5 here, $10 here, $20 here. I know that most people sometimes lose track of $20. So I'm gonna encourage you to lose track of $20 over to the Pomona Natives or any local youth and sport team that we got in the city.
That'd be great. Good job. Keep up the good
job.
work.
Keep up the good work, man. We appreciate you.
Keep those kids busy and active and going to school.
I always support people that give back to the community. Like I said, when I played, we just get dropped off and there you were. I don't know if you got the parents behind you. I think you'll go far. They can buy in. The parents need to buy in too. And just, like I always told my kids in football gonna end one day for everybody. Even like Jaden Daniels, it's gonna end one day. What you gonna do afterwards? You know what I mean? So you instilling that community in them, that how to be a man, how to do things, it's gonna go farther than just football. You know what I mean? Because that's gonna open so many doors. So like I said, we appreciate you, Victor, man. Thanks for coming up, man, and keep up the good work.
Right.
And anything we can do, I'm gonna do it because I'm just, like that. And Rob the same way. And Pomona native, man, you know what I'm saying? You got to give it to him. And he's in there serving the community, doing what he's sought out to do. You know what I mean? He's probably doing it because nobody did it for him, and I can bet you that. And so let's give it up for him, Victor.
Good job.
Thank you very much, both of you, for having me again.
There you go.
Let's go. We're gonna go out there and win this league.
Good luck to you, brother.
What are we doing next, Randy?
We're gonna talk football. You want to talk football with us up here?
Pro football.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, we're gonna talk some football, some NFL.
Man,
Who's your team, Victor?
LA Chargers.
Oh, Chargers. Yo, I'm a LA Ram. That's a Dallas Cowboy next to you.
America's team.
Damn.
We'll get to my Cowboys in a minute.
Right.
Man, Andy Dalton came off the bench and put it on the Raiders. What do you have to say about that? We'll talk about Bryce in a minute, but Carolina looked good with Andy behind center.
It made Price look bad, dude. You know what I mean? I'm sorry for that young man. They threw him to the wolves. I think he went in too soon because he was the number 1 pick.
Exactly.
And I think you look at Patrick Mahomes when he came in. They knew they had something, but they let Alex Smith
exactly
show him the way. Sometimes it's situations, and it's not where you land. I mean, where you land, and then you got to think about it. He had 2 coaches in 2 years, so I mean, they're going to move him after this year, and hopefully he goes somewhere where he can be an understudy and get his rise like that. Look at Sam Darnold.
Justin Fields is 3-0 right now.
Right.
So go ahead.
Yeah, Justin Fields out there balling, and Andy Dalton, the red rifle. People thought, people forgot about him, and he was out there throwing some dots, man. And hey, Chuba Hubbard running amazing in that game.
Yeah, Chuba Hubbard, Oklahoma State. Yeah, Dalton looked good. People forgot how good he was in Cincinnati. He got a max contract at one point. So I think he's physically and mentally more ready right now than Bryce is. And like you said, Bryce had 2 head coaches, 2 offensive coordinators. He's light, so he needs to put on maybe a little weight, a little beef. But I'm still sold on Bryce. I think he's going to be okay in the right situation. But I don't think Carolina was the right situation for him.
Right.
Okay. Jets over the Patriots. That wasn't surprising at all. That Thursday night game. Did you get to see any highlights?
I seen it. I watched the game.
Okay.
Yeah, we kind of figured that, and it's about time that Aaron Rodgers got off and did what he needed to do. They're coming around a little bit defensively and offensively. I think they got to still hit another gear. But they're going to be in the thick of things in that conference because, Tua down. So we'll see what happens.
Well, they've got an amazing wide receiver over there with Aaron Rodgers throwing to him. And then you got some nice running backs. So definitely, similar to Carolina, it's once you change that quarterback and hopefully, things are going well. Unfortunately, Aaron Rodgers getting hurt last year. That's why sometimes it makes you think, that's why there might be a home for Bryce Young. There should be a home for Bryce Young.
Exactly.
Because, he stays committed and an opportunity is going to come up when with the right team.
Exactly. Yeah. Like you said, Randy, I'm picking the Jets in Buffalo to battle it out for the, the AFCs because the only team you have those 2, but then you have, Miami's down to their 3rd quarterback and you have New England, who's not, they're not ready. They haven't figured out their quarterback situation fully, I don't think. So I like the Jets in Buffalo.
And Buffalo look mean.
They look real good.
Yeah.
Giants over the Browns. That was a little surprising to me.
Very surprising.
I didn't think that the Giants had that much in the tank. And the Browns, they're a solid team. When Deshaun's clicking and playing good, they have Myles Garrett on defense. They've got Denzel at DB. They've got a good team. But that was surprising. What did you think about that one?
Defensively, yeah, they're one of the solidest teams in the NFL, but I don't know Deshaun Watson, man.
That's $230 million.
$230 million guaranteed, and it looked like shit. You can put Bryce Young back there. Shit.
There you go. That might be a situation.
Yeah.
So that was surprising. Yeah, I thought the Browns were going to be better. I was picking them to challenge in their division, but right now Pittsburgh's 3-0. Baltimore is 1-2.
Right.
And Cincinnati's 0-3.
Yeah.
And the Browns are struggling. Man, I know who would thought Pittsburgh was going to run away with it.
Well, we always know Pittsburgh going to be in the running just because of Mike Tomlin and the defense. Yeah. And now you got Justin Fields. He get a different situation like we talked about, and maybe he might get his feet under him and might go high with this, and we hope he does. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because if you look at Caleb Williams, he looked the same way that when
Justin was there.
Justin was there. He running for his life. slinging the ball over the field. He's finding out these cats are just as fast as him, and they got to get it together because I don't want to see Caleb go out
exactly in 2
like
years.
that. You know what I mean?
Coach, what do you think about Giants over the Browns?
Man, what a surprise. I definitely picked the Browns on that one. I thought they were going to come out, play hard, play smash mouth football, and a huge surprise. I mean, Amari Cooper, they still did well, but man, you don't see that often. Daniel Jones putting in some work, and Malik Neighbors is real. That
Phenomenal.
guy is real.
Out of LSU,
man.
Phenomenal. He saved them. That's going to be that's their new OBJ.
Look at that. What to have a weapon like that? That's what that creates, is those opportunities to win some games. Doesn't matter who the quarterback is. So we'll see if Daniel Jones can keep that going. But I don't know. But for sure, Neighbors, man,
a stud.
Stud.
We have Packers over the Titans, also known as the Malik Willis Bowl. What did you think about that? That was the Titans are struggling, so I can't say that was really a surprise. Willis is starting, because obviously their quarterback's out, but the Packers have a good team.
Good team,
and pretty well coached.
I'm glad to see that he went back to the other, to his old team that traded him.
Yep,
and got in their ass. You know what I mean? But he's he looks pretty good, man. Like you know what I mean? Another, like you said, another situation, and look what happens.
Yep,
you know what I mean?
Better team, exactly.
Better team, a better coach team, a better scheme, a better everything. That all matters. Everybody think like, oh, I can just go to this team and ball out. No, it's not like that. And if you know anything about football, you got to build it inside out. And a lot of people get away from that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Malik Willis out there throwing and rushing, being the leading rusher on his team.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to put up a case. He's going to be asking for top dollar either as a backup or somebody's going to give him a shot. I'm sure the Titans want him back, but
exactly
for sure, Will Levis, he's got some weapons. D Hopkins over there, but he has to protect that ball with those interceptions. It's just not going to cut it, man.
Exactly.
You talk about inside out and the turnover. You got to win the turnover battle.
That's true. Yes,
sir. Yes,
Colts,
sir.
So you talked about Caleb. Colts over the Bears. That wasn't that surprising. Like you said, Caleb is running all over the place, throwing the ball because, the D linemen, the linebackers, and DBs are all, fast. They were all the best player on their college team. So he's seeing, maybe it wasn't Justin. Maybe it was the infrastructure. But the Colts over Bears, I wouldn't say that was that surprising. The Colts have a solid team.
Solid D.
Well coached. Anthony Richardson's in his second year. Which makes a huge difference. I say that's when quarterbacks take the biggest jump, that second year.
And he's still raw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's an athlete, 6'5", 240 something. So was that surprising to you, Colts over the Bears?
No, not at all. The Bears got to get their stuff together, like you said. That coach and that GM probably gonna be up out of there.
Yeah,
because let me tell you, when in the draft, you pick Caleb. Your second pick is a receiver. I don't think you should have picked the receiver. You should have picked the offensive lineman. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If you really want, you got to protect your prize jewel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you already had DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. So I think that was a bonehead move.
Taking
a receiver and, pick 10. Yeah. So, yeah, they're going to have to get it together.
I was thinking the Colts were going to blow it out, and I'm not sure if what maybe because of his injury last year or what. I'm a big fan of Anthony Richardson, man. He's solid, but he's been struggling this year, so we got to take a look at what's going on. He's got some good receivers over there. Alec Pierce only had one reception, but he's been doing a lot of work over there, and I'm looking forward to Caleb. I'm sure you guys talked about it last week, where Odunze's dad was sharing videos of his son being wide open in the end zone and stuff. So maybe like I agree with you, Coach. Maybe what they're going to need is an offensive mind to really help this young quarterback and this young team really execute and get some points up there in a proper way.
There you go. If
Lincoln Riley don't do what he's supposed to do at SC, maybe he can come over to be an offensive coordinator.
Exactly.
You hear me, Lincoln?
Definitely work. Hey, here's one that surprised me, Sam Darnold. But like you said, he's on his third or fourth team, but he's in the right system now. Got the Vikings undefeated. He did take a big hit, but they blew out the Texans. That was surprising.
34-7.
34-7.
Very surprising.
What do you think about that?
I thought the Texans was going to win. I think I picked the Texans to win that game. Something wasn't clicking that day. You know what I mean? You know, any given Sunday. You know what I mean? And they did good. The other team did real awesome. Sam Darnold looks great. You know what I mean? He been moved around. I think when he went to San Francisco is where he got his feet down under him and studied under the Purdy and the coach over there.
Yeah,
and
Shanahan.
Shanahan, and he looks great. You know what I mean? And so hats off to him. I hope he keeps doing good. Oh, he got a little dinger on the knee. I hope he's okay.
Exactly.
They said he's okay, and they look like a team to beat over there.
Yeah, they look good. And they were thinking that McCarthy was going to start this year. They were grooming him to start. But Sam Darnold, he was ready. When they called him, he was ready. So that was a good one. This next game, go ahead, Coach. You want to say something?
No problem. Just, JJ McCarthy having a season-ending injury. Yep. Next man up. I think at one point, Sam Darnold and Andy Dalton were both on the Carolina Panthers. And so now they're over here putting up games. I also really surprised Minnesota's defense to hold Texans down to 7 points.
Yeah.
Man, CJ Stroud is incredible, but they really got after him.
Okay. It was probably one of the most competitive games. It was physical. It was getting a little chippy. The Eagles and the Saints. The Eagles went in there and got a win. The Saints have looked good the first couple of weeks. But the Eagles are physical. That was a close one, 15-12. Randy, what are your thoughts on that?
Philly, man, they look good, but I think it's the coaching over there. Sirianni's on the hot seat because he makes some bonehead moves, and he made some bonehead moves in that game. Almost gave it up. And Carr was looking, putting up all these points, but Philly got a D. So I hope Carr, shakes that off and keeps doing what he's doing. But real close game, competitive game. Everybody thought it would have been a little different. Might have thought it would have been a blowout by Philly, but they didn't. New Orleans just went in there and beat Dallas like the way they did. So everybody thought, it'd be a better game.
Talking about boneheaded moves, you got to still give it up to the Giants for trading away Saquon Barkley
in the
division rival. Man, Saquon Barkley's going to be a stud right there. I mean, well, he is. Now, if the MVP wouldn't be given to quarterbacks, I mean, this would be my early favorite right there. He's going to be putting it up. And the Saints, you know what? Good thing they got humbling now because they put up over 45 points in the first two games, only 12 this time around. I think they're going to have a comeback, but really, really, really nice, tough game right there.
Yeah. Steelers undefeated. Who thought they were going to be undefeated? 3-0.
Nobody.
They beat those Chargers this week. Nobody thought, but they're, like you said, they're well coached. They always have good defense. They got Cam Hayward. They got Fitzpatrick over there. So they're always solid on defense. If Fields can connect with Pickens, they're gonna have something to say in their division for sure, because their division is down right now.
Yes,
what were your thoughts on that one, Randy?
San Diego, I really questioned them playing Herbert when he had a high ankle sprain.
Yeah, and then he re-injured it.
And then he re-injured it. So
LA Chargers,
yes, sir. And I wouldn't have did that. I would have brought the backup in and whatever, and let's get him healthy because it's just only week 3, week 4, and now he might be out. No, this coming up week, who they got this week? They got the Chiefs. Oh shit. So you know what I mean. But like I said, Pittsburgh, you can, man, Mike Tomlin gonna get his team to the playoffs every year. You know what I mean? That's a coach, man. That's
the culture too.
He's a culture, and he's no nonsense, and he's real. You know what I mean? And people play for him, they buy in. And that defense is, I think, the number 1 defense in the NFL right now.
Yep, without a doubt. Shout out to Tomlin. I said I'm a Chargers fan, but the Steelers really handed it to us. Unfortunate on those injuries, and now both tackles might be out also. And then Derwin James gets suspended.
Yep,
man. I question a lot of the calls sometimes when they put it on it. I'm glad that at first I didn't think this was going to be a blessing, but a week 5 bye can't come soon enough.
All right. So Steelers looking good.
Looking good.
Chargers got to get healthy. So we're going to see. It's just a long season. They've only played 3 games. Broncos over the Buccaneers. That was a little surprising.
Very surprising. Broncos went down to Tampa. I thought they was playing in Mile High, but they went down there and got it together. 26-7. Shout out to the Broncos. Bo Nix looked pretty decent.
Yeah.
Got the ball to his receiver. The running game, they're trying to still figure that out. But I don't know what happened with Tampa Bay. It just didn't seem they came out flat.
Yeah, and that happens.
It's at any given Sunday. You know, you think an easy opponent's going to come in, but it's in the NFL. They're going to hit you in the mouth. And Bo Nix, you know, he didn't get a passing touchdown, but I think he got a rushing touchdown. And I don't know what's going on. We'll see if Tampa gets to bounce back or if they're going to stay down there for a bit. I don't think so. I think they'll bounce back, but definitely Broncos, man, good job this week.
That's right. Seahawks over the Dolphins. Normally that would have been a surprise, but you know, Tua's hurt. The second string quarterback got hurt. If they can't get that quarterback situation figured out, it's going to be a long year for the Dolphins.
Yes. So they just got Huntley, Tyron Huntley.
Mm-hmm.
So he should be. I think they might move him up this week to go ahead and start. I hope they do.
They need to.
They need to because he did excellent when he came and filled in for the Baltimore.
Yeah, the Dolphins only scored 3 though, Randy.
Only 3 points. Yeah, they ain't got they got the outside. They got the 2 receivers and can't get the ball. That's gonna put a dent.
Waddle
and they got a runner. So now
Mostert, yeah.
No, A-Chain.
Oh, okay.
So A-Chain. So now they stacking the box on you. You know what I mean? And daring you to throw. So it's kind of rough. 8 in the box.
Yeah, let's see what Huntley does. I think jokingly I saw that they were having open quarterback tryouts at Miami. But hopefully Huntley pulls it off. If not, I mean, would they be looking to trade? You were talking about earlier about younger quarterback, or about looking for somebody. I know this is a wild one, right? But they said it. Would this be the thing that convinces Tom Brady to come back?
Ooh, in Miami. I don't know if he can do that if he's a owner part owner in Vegas, but yeah, that'd be you know, something to see, definitely.
Right. Wow.
Yeah. Somebody has to drive
it.
Yeah,
they got a Ferrari.
Yeah. Ravens over my Cowboys. Of course, we didn't play well in the first half, and then we came back. But I mean, you know,
a little bit too
late. You can't
late.
start off like that. Yeah, you got to start off strong.
Right.
Little tension on the sideline between CD and Dak. What were your thoughts on that one, Randy?
I think that the defense is kind of like up the middle is soft. You know what I mean? It's not enough. And I noticed when you run at 11, it's a problem. He has a problem. But when you run away from him, he look like Lawrence Taylor because he's coming from the other side. But a lot of teams is figuring out their number. And then Jerry gonna say, we didn't have no money to get what's the boy name, the running back?
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry, man. Come on, man. You could have dug in your left closet pocket and got that.
Yeah, and he lives in Dallas.
You should have got him, bro. I'm like, man, he ran all through y'all. So, you know what I mean? Shouts out to Lamar and them and the Baltimore well-coached team. They always going to be in the thick of things, but Dallas need to get it together. Really needed to get it together defensively. I think offensive, we okay. You know what I mean? But defense is where it's at. That's where we begin giving up the most love up there.
Yeah.
You know, both these teams are strong. They're good teams. I think the Ravens were just coming in at they were not going to go down 0-3, and you got Lamar over there who's the stud. And then you know what? I joked about the Cowboys, but honestly, if they could put it together, and maybe it's because it's early in the season, but Dak Prescott, he was efficient. He had his things going. He still had his 2 touchdowns over 300 yards. Do they have a running game? We don't know. Is CeeDee Lamb? Are you going to be able to get him enough touches? But this is the NFL. They'll take away your strong point, as you mentioned. Their DN, if they're going to run it at them, and what else can the rest of the defense do to really hold everybody back?
Yeah, I think our problem is coaching and structure.
Yeah.
So because we're talented every year, but we don't seem to have enough discipline. to sustain, to come out early, and also in the playoffs. And that's where that discipline shows when the pressure's up.
Yeah, it looks like that team go to practice with each other and don't see each other till the next day.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
You gotta
no cohesiveness.
You gotta hang out with your players, man. You gotta build a camaraderie. You gotta build a atmosphere, man. Like, and I don't like the coach. I never did like the coach.
On top of it is, can you have a coach that could handle the Jerry Jones show?
And that's the
Yeah,
thing.
and
Jerry's
that's the
not going to
thing.
hire a coach.
Jerry's always meddling.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Belichick's out there. You know, he wants to come back. So, and Mike McCarthy's a lame duck because he has no deal.
Yeah.
So they won't move off of him during the season, but at the end of the season, it don't go well. I think he'll be on the run.
Yep, I'd be happy. Let's talk about your Rams over the 49ers. That was we watched that game. That was a good game. Rams came back. Randy, what are your thoughts?
Thank God. You know what I mean? Like, because we on triage, man. We got everybody hurt. I didn't think we were going to win the game. Honestly, I picked 49ers in my little pool, but whatchamacallit is underrated, man. Like the quarterback. I mean, Stafford, man, he's top 10 quarterback all the time, and he's going to deal every chance he gets. And McVay is a hell of an offensive coach, and they stopped him. They won, but they hurt too on that side, so they got to get healthy too. I heard Christian McCaffrey flew to Germany today to see about his Achilles.
Okay, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, are the Rams going to be able to figure it out? They've got great coaches to be able to adjust. I think I almost turned it off in the first half with the way the Niners looked there, and they just weren't able to finish it. And shout out again, man, that the running game, Kyron Williams. Man, he's a runner. Hey, did you see him jump into the end zone when he did a somersaulted over a player? Man, that was good right there. And Tutu Atwell's gonna have to step up with their top two receivers injured, and I don't see anything much from Brandon Ayuk after he was talking all off season about how he needed a new deal. He got his deal, but Jawan over there he's the one putting up. Maybe it's because the NFL is taking Ayuk out, but they don't have all their weapons. And this was shout out to the Rams, man, great win.
There you go.
Thank you.
Lions over the Cardinals, 20-13. That was. I thought they would have won by a little bit more, but the Cardinals, they're talented. They got Harrison Jr. over there. Lions, they haven't started off as strong as a lot of people thought they would, but they did get the win. So hats off.
Hats off to them. Yeah, they'll get together. They pretty. Now that coach has a culture over there. You can tell, and they like playing for him. He's a player's coach, and they on 10 all the time. So I thought that game would have been a little more of a blowout, but Arizona's not bad. And like you said, they got Harrison, they got James Conner, they got a little defense over there, so they're going to be all right. Rams going to have to reckon with them.
Yeah, especially after what they did to them in week 2. Amon-Ra St. Brown out of USC, that guy, he
solid.
Why don't they put him in the All-Pro? And they keep thinking he's an underdog or he's not one of the top receivers in this league, but he definitely is. Kyler Murray tried to do his game out there, and Marvin Harrison Jr., man, I used to love watching his dad out there with the Colts, and now seeing him what he's got going on over here. And Jared Goff, he still has that chip on his shoulder, even though he got to the NFC Championship, but is that where he's going to stay? So they've got a lot to show, a lot to prove, and but they've got a good team and a solid defense to show a lot.
Yeah, they're gonna be there at the end. I picked them to come out of the NFC. That was my pick. Them or San Francisco in the championship. So we'll see. Like Randy said, they have a culture. They love playing for that coach. He's he's demanding. He's high energy. Former pro player, former Cowboys assistant. So they're gonna have something to say at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Chiefs over Falcons. We watched that one here, actually. That was a close game. Yeah, I didn't think it'd be that close, but the Chiefs weren't getting to Kirk Cousins and making him come out of the pocket. And when he has time to just stand back and throw, he's pretty good.
What
do you think about that one? That was surprising.
That was surprising. Every game the Kansas City been in has been close. You know what I mean? You got the first game with the little foot on the line that they would have, win at OT. Then the second game was close, and this game was close. So it's Patrick Mahomes and that kid not Worthy, but Rice. They balling Rashid Rice, and then you got Travis Kelce hasn't been getting off at all. I think they doubling him, and he got that Taylor Swift syndrome.
That
I don't know what's
hangover.
going on, but yeah, I think he'll wake up. Atlanta don't look bad, man. They got all kind of weapons, man. They got the running back
end.
Bijan Johnson, got the tight end Pitts.
Mm-hmm.
You got Drake London on the outside, and you got another kid that played with the Bears, but now he over there receiver is pretty good. And you got Algier backs up. And he's a starter somewhere, but he's backing up Bijan Robinson. So they got a two-headed horse.
Yeah.
Really think about it. And the defense is swarming to the ball.
I think what I took off from these two teams were they're not even going full speed yet.
Yeah.
You can see, like you just mentioned, the talent that Atlanta has, and they're gonna do something in this league this year. And Kansas City, their star running back is injured. They had Steele in there. He did all right. And when you talk about culture, we've talked about it, right? They've got right now. I mean, with Belichick not in the league, he's Andy Reid is the coach.
The coach, yeah.
He's the coach, and he's making it happen. And I think it was Bill Cowher that said a long time ago, he was, you know what, after the first quarter, then it all settles, and you're really playing football, and you just got to let the game be the game, and that's what the Chiefs are doing. Is they're letting the game be the game, and they don't beat themselves, and they get the win.
That was a good one.
Yes,
22-17. Bills big over the Jaguars. Jaguars have been disappointing so far, Randy. They haven't been able to build off their success from last year. That was surprising, though. That was a blowout. It was over in the first half. What were your thoughts?
Over, just horrific, man. Like you said, they won a playoff game last year against the Chargers. They don't look right. They don't look right. I don't know what Peterson is doing, or he might be on the hot seat.
Quarterback is underperformed.
But
47-10. That was surprising.
Right. They took away Ridley left. But they got the receiver from LSU, Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't put my finger on. I don't know what's going on down there, but like you said, the Bills, man, they rolling. They ain't really having to ask the quarterback to go outside of what he's usually doing. So you got Cook that's running the ball amazingly, and you got the defense is good. And then you got a rookie receiver over there too, Khalil, and they balling.
Yeah, they look good.
Sometimes it just needs a change of culture. And what's to have Trevor Lawrence to be a highly number one QB who's supposed to change the game, change the world, and it's just not happening. So something there is not clicking, and their offense wasn't going at it. And then the Bills, their Bills defense just took over. And Josh Allen, 4 touchdowns. He's not losing a step after losing his top receiver, and now he's spreading the ball more. And you're right, Coleman over there, the rookie, he's gonna be something. He's gonna be a baller.
On that, he don't have to worry about Stephon Diggs. You know what I mean? I think he was under so much pressure. I got to get it to Diggs. Now he can just play football and get it to whoever's open. You know what I mean? I think that has a lot to do with it, because Diggs, you've seen the episodes, them throwing helmets, talking stuff on the sidelines because he wasn't getting the ball. But now I think he can really look at all his windows and, let these young men make plays.
Definitely. The last game, this one was great to see. Local kid, Jaden Daniels out of Cajon High School. 4-year starter in high school, 5-year starter in college, 3 at ASU, 2 at LSU, Heisman Trophy winner. He looked great. Monday night, big stage, tight game. They were letting him throw the ball in the fourth quarter. He was finding Ertz. He was finding his receivers, and he performed, man. That was a huge game. They won 38-33. Cincinnati, he went up against Joe Burrow. What'd you think about that game? I was happy for him.
I was happy for him, man. I thought no way that Burrow was going to go 0-3. But hello, Jaden Daniels, because you can look over there and they're building a culture over there. You can see it.
Yeah.
You can see it. They love playing together. They rooting for him. They pulling for him. And that's a good situation for him. You know what I mean? New ownership. You know what I mean?
Shout out to Magic Johnson.
Shout out to Magic Johnson and all those guys over there. They building a culture. You can see it. Quinn is over there, the head coach. I mean, he's a defensive guy. But whoever, they got who's the offensive coordinator?
Cliff Kingsbury's offensive coordinator.
Called a hell of a game.
Yeah, he did.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, everybody don't need to be a head coach. Sometimes you just need to do your role. And he found him a role and let him run with it. You know what I mean? And he's doing excellent. He called a hell of a game right there for that young man straight out of San Bernardino.
Yep.
And hey, shout out to you, Jayden Daniels, man. You look good.
Keep it up.
A game where there was no punts. The person with the ball at the end of the game was obviously going to win it. And talking about local kids, over on Washington on defense out of Colony, Bobby Wagner putting in the game, still at it, man. That guy. Woo! And by the way, man, that last touchdown to Terry McLaurin, I've had Terry McLaurin on my fantasy teams, and he was pulling it off. And now with a quarterback with like Daniels, this is gonna be like you saw this past weekend, a video game team right here. Hopefully, the defenses can step it up though, and get at least a couple 3 and outs, because offenses get a little tired when they gotta carry the whole team. So who on the defense is gonna step that up? And I'm actually glad Burrows is getting humbled, and he's a guy that might, I'm sure he'll step up and do some more in this season. But 0-3, man, who in the NFC North other than the Steelers? Because I'm sure the Steelers is just looking at everybody saying, "Oh, we'll be happy to take it again this season."
Exactly. Yeah, and Burrow's got to stay healthy, so I think they'll figure it out. But that's surprising they started off 0-3, like you said. But we're happy for our local kid Jayden Daniels. He played well. Like Randy said, they're building a culture over there with the new ownership, with Magic helping out, mentoring, and you could tell they like to play together. When Jayden threw that last touchdown, all the guys were coming over to him and shaking his hand. You see other teams, my Cowboys, we don't do that. When Dak throws a touchdown, he sits down by himself. So you could tell the culture just by watching the game.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What else we got?
Man, a lot of good games this coming up week. I'm anxious to see if Baltimore builds on that win. If 49ers bounce back, you got a tough one, New Orleans and Atlanta. Those are the two best teams in that division. The Rams are playing Chicago. Minnesota Green Bay is going to be a good game. Philly's at Tampa.
I think Jordan Love coming back.
Is he coming back already? That's surprising.
I think he's coming back this week.
Okay. San Francisco probably bounce back. They have New England at home. KC's at the Chargers. That'll be a good game. And Buffalo, Baltimore. That's going to be a tough one.
What about Thursday night?
Thursday night, we have Dallas and New York. Of course, I'm going to go with my Cowboys. I'll talk about it. Cowboys, we're going to be okay. I think we'll be okay. It's in New York. We'll see if Daniel Jones, if last week was a fluke. Right. He's got neighbors over there, so we'll have to bottle him up. But Dallas has to put it together, man. They don't have the cohesiveness. So that one's, 2 weeks ago, I would have said we're going to blow them out. But that might be a toss-up. Prime Thursday night game. Everybody's going to be watching. So that's going to be a tough one.
How y'all feel about these 2 Monday night games?
I like football, but I'd rather just have one game. But, because you got to go back and forth. And one starts at 4:30. I mean, most people are still working at 4:30.
Right.
So, but, whatever. I'm a football fan. I'll take 2 games.
Right.
So Tennessee at Miami. If Miami doesn't figure out the quarterback situation, Tennessee may get that one.
Right.
Seattle at Detroit. I think that's Detroit.
That's gonna be a good game. Both undefeated, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, no, I think Detroit may have a loss, but I'll have to double check that. But
they just lost.
Yeah. Detroit won this week, but they lost, I think, last week. But we'll look into that.